Welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I'm going to be exploring to you the pros, that's the advantages of working 12 hours shift. Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. On today's episode, I'm going to be exploring to you the pros, that's the advantages of working 12 hours shift. I am a fan of 12 hours shift. In most parts of the Western world, they normally do the 12 hours shift pattern. However, in other parts of the world, you're going to see a lot of 8 hours shift pattern, meaning that for 12 hours shift pattern, only 2 handovers, while for 8 hours shift pattern, you have 3 handovers in a day. I'm just going to be letting you know the advantages of working 12 hours shift as compared to working 8 hours shift or shorter. The first advantage is that you have longer breaks and more day off. Most of the organizations expect you to fulfill around 37.5 hours per week or 40 hours per week. So depending as the case may be, if I do a 12-hour shift, I end up working only 3 days in a week, and then I have 4 days off to spend with my family and my friends. The second point on my list is that there is enhanced continuity of care. In this case, I mean it is proper nurse-patient relationship, because nurse-patient relationship is being enforced as the patient gets the opportunity to spend more time with a particular nurse. In some units, mostly in the medical wards, for instance, the patients tend to stay up to 3 months, 6 months in the hospital, and then when they are staying for a longer time, this is a very much advantage for them, since they will be seeing the same nurse for 12 hours, and then they know this particular nurse. The nurses as well know this particular patient, so there is a proper flow and of communication between the nurse and the patient, and the proper nurse-patient therapeutic relationship is being maintained. The third advantage of 12-hour shift is the reduced handover and communication mishaps and errors. Yes, 12-hour shift can reduce the risk of communication errors and mishap. For instance, we no longer have to do up to 3 handovers in a day, such as for 8-hour shift, for instance. In 12-hour shift, there are only 2 handovers, and then that reduces the chance of miscommunication between 2 nurses. The fourth point on my list is the deeper collaboration and team bonding. Yes, because of 12-hour shift, we tend to spend more time with the same member of staff. We have this same colleague for a whole 12 hours. We share responsibility and we work as one. We work together. The next advantage of 12-hour shift is better work-life balance. Yes, I believe there is a much better work-life balance, in the sense working 3 days in a week gives you 4 days full off to be at home with your family. So you know that you have a schedule. You work 3 days, and the next 4 days you have other opportunities to focus on life fully and not working and then focusing on life. So it creates a much more room for better work-life balance. The next point on my list is gives financial advantage. Of course, I'd like to go for a 12-hour shift, because preparing for that particular shift gives me more money than when I prepare for 8-hour shift. For people that work overtime, for instance, you would like to go for a 12-hour shift because it gives you more financial freedom and more financial advantage. It enhances potential for working overtime. For instance, people that have all the time in the whole world can do their 3 compulsory days of 12 hours shift, and in the next 4 days they can choose to go and do overtime and make a whole lot of money as well. So it has a lot of enormous advantage for that particular reason. The next point is that it gives us a lot of flexibility and freedom. Yes, working 12-hour shifts gives you flexibility, because you can be able to choose which particular days that you are able to work. If you are only available to work Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays, that's fine. You can stick to that particular shift. It's a long, and then the 3 days can be able to make up your hour for a week, and then the rest 4 days you can be able to do whatever you want to do. So it gives us the opportunity and the potential to be able to align with our personal preferences as well. The next point is reduced commute to work. So people that need to try to imagine traveling 6 days in a week to work, to just do 6 or 8 hours and then come back to me. I'd rather do the 3 long days, then I'm off for 4 days, than having to commute to work every blessed day for short shifts. Then coming to the cons, that is the disadvantages of 12-hour shift. Of course, we know that there are. First point is physical fatigue and exhaustion. Of course, doing a long day shift is not easy. It's the second disadvantage of 12-hour shift is impaired family time. Yes, family time can be impaired because it's possible that you leave the house early in the morning and then not see your kids before leaving, and then you come back home and your kids are already at bed. So you can see that there is also chances that your kids may not even be able to see you on some particular days because you are committed to work days. Unlike when you do 8 hours shift, whereby you can come back earlier on around 4 p.m. and then still spend time with your kids before they go to bed. So, lead to impaired family time. The third disadvantage of 12-hour shifts is the risk for burnout. Yes, burnout is one particular thing that nurses must prevent at all costs. Burnout is one of the disadvantages of 12-hour shift. The next disadvantage is the disrupted work-life balance. Yes, the work-life balance can also be disrupted with 12-hour shift. As last point on my list is risk of impaired patient safety. Yes, there is high chances that the patient can suffer at this point because after 10-hour shift, for instance, the last 2 hours can be most difficult for the nurses. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this is your first time here, I really appreciate your presence here. God bless you for being here. And to my returning subscribers, I don't take you guys for granted. Thank you so much for coming back, and I'll see you in my next video. Thank you, guys.